I'll try to be concise, but even before this, I was on a 3-month prayer journey as well with God, and it was like I was stuck in John. It's John chapter 15. I am the true vine, and my Father is the vine dresser. Every branch in me that does not bear fruit, he does not. He prunes that he may bear more fruit. And it says in verse 5, I am the vine, you are the branches. Whoever abides in me and I in him, he it is that bears much fruit. For apart from me, you can do nothing. So I think that sort of set the tone of my life. It's like I want to be in God and God wants to be in me. And so at that time I was jobless. I had no job. I was unemployed for about 2 years. It was not cool. But I was praying every day. I was in the morning. I was just like, God, what is my calling? What am I supposed to do? He's like, go work. And I was like, I need a job. And so within that week, Sarah Wayne called me and said, I need an assistant for my company doing wedding planning. And I was like, okay, wedding planning has nothing to do with anything I'm into. But since God says I'm going to work, I'm going to put that aside and just say yes. Okay? So I said yes, and I did it for like 3 or 4 times. And then I was like, God, I'm just going to humble myself, and I'm just going to put my head down and just work. And then Diana Chang, within the same week, texted me and said, we need a receptionist at our company. It's only temporary for 2 weeks. And I was like, I'm going to put my head down and I'm just going to say yes to it. And then, so I did. And so I just knew it was a blessing from God, and I knew God was leading me somewhere with that. And so and it's in Culver City, okay? So I have to drive an hour every day to work and an hour and a half back. And it was only temporary for 2 weeks. But I said, God, if this is for me, I believe you have a plan. So every day for an hour, I prayed in tongues. I prayed in tongues to Culver City, and I came back and I prayed in tongues. And instead of asking God, like, God, what am I supposed to do? And I'm complaining, I said, God, you have a mission for me. You're wanting to send me out to bless this company. What is it that I have to offer? So my prayer wasn't really about me. I was like, what can I offer? And that was my prayer. I wanted to bless this person because I talked to her on the phone and I really liked her. And then so when I came there, she's like, oh, welcome to this company. You need to do this, 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 and this. And I was like, how can I be of any help? And I put my head down and I just worked. I took out the trash. I got on my floors. I packed up things. I did things that people literally walk by and said, they pay you to do that. And I said, well, who else is going to do it? And so that was my attitude. I just wanted to work. And every time I walked into the company, I would say, release the presence of God. Yeah. I would just imagine, throughout the day, I would stop and I'll take a moment and I said, God, I am in you. You are in me. May heaven come. Amen. And that was just my mindset. And I said, I didn't have a prayer, but I said, God, everywhere I go, I want you to go with me. Abide in me and I in you, and everything in my heart's desire will manifest naturally through this desire to want to see you manifest around me. And so, I was like, my motto for those weeks was just make space for God. It's not about what I want to pray into, but can you just make space? Can you take a moment and just think about him and allow him to be present? And because of that, I did this every day. I prayed in tongues and I released, and I just try to bless people. I would say kind words to people I don't know, who are probably like executives and CEOs. I didn't care. I was like, I'm just here to bless people, and then I'm gone. 2 weeks, bye-bye. However, because of my attitude and the favor of God was with me, my employer said, I'm just going to give you another week. The thing is over. I'm just going to give you another week because I like having you around. And I have nothing to do, but she's like, I just want to hire you. And then another week, I'm just like, I want you to come back for another week. So this 2-week temp job became a 4-week job. And then after the end of the 4 weeks, I wrote her a thank you letter saying, thank you for giving me this opportunity to know who I am and have this opportunity to be a blessing. And before I gave her that, so she didn't get that letter yet, but before that she said, I'm going to fight for a position for you. I'm going to create a job position just for you because I just want you around. And I was like, yeah. And I gave her the thank you gift, and she was like, oh my God, I'm so touched. you know, oh, my 5 minutes is up.
It's okay, keep going.
Okay. And then so that was my attitude. And then so for 2 months I didn't have a job again because she needed to fight for my position. She needed to talk to her boss, who had to talk to her boss, who had to talk to his boss. Okay, there's like 3 or 4 executive levels above her. And so she couldn't get back to me, but I was just like, Lord, I trust in you. I just trust in you, and I'm not going to freak out. And then one day she's just like, I just want you to come in on this day. And I just said, no questions asked. I'm like, okay, I'm just going to show up. And I came into her office, and she said, my upper levels never brought you up to their upper levels. But I talked to my boss. My boss says, because I know you need help, I'm just going to hire you on contract. And you can have, and whenever you need, like whenever Deanna, you need help, just hire her. And Deanna says, from now on, I'm just going to need you forever.
Whoa.
On contract. And then she's like, I don't care. Like, they said, okay. And then the thing is, she said, this is actually better for you because you're not obligated to the company. You can take vacation whenever you want. You just won't get paid, but you'll have that pressure. And she said, and you're getting paid way more than if we hired you full time. So I got more benefits from trusting in the Lord. And from this, so prayer isn't always asking God for stuff. It's this verse. It says, abide in me and I in you. And whatever is on your heart's desire, already God knows, it will manifest in this world. So you don't need to come to God with this neediness, like prayerful neediness. You come to God with a prayer of, I'm here to bless. I am full of fullness. And I believe God, through you saying yes to the humble things, God will show up and bless you, and you don't even realize how He brought you to your dreams until you're there. And I have one more testimony. And I want to say that I gave up on my dreams like 2 years ago, or 3 years ago. I was a freelance illustrator, but I just didn't have the self-discipline, the self-control. I'll just be honest. To do what I'm called to do. And I felt like a failure. And I was like, you know what, God, just give me a 9 to 5. I just need to do something. 2 weeks into this job, I met this freelance, this contract illustrator, and we just started talking. He said, hey, come sketch with me. And I was like, oh, I don't want to sketch, but I kind of do. I was like, oh, like my past is coming to haunt me. I'm going to sketch. He's like, let's sketch. So every lunch, we sketched for 45 minutes. And he started talking about, for his 2 years, I took 2 years off and I failed, but he took 2 years to produce like 4 children's books. And then he's like, I used to go to these cons, and I used to do all this. What did you do? And I was like, oh, I had this story, but I didn't finish it. He's like, what are you doing? Come on, you have so much like going on for you. Just do it, just finish it. And then it was like, I came to this job just wanting a job, but God set me up into an environment where He provoked me to face my dreams again, and into my calling. And I didn't even know, I didn't even ask for it. I just said, God, I just want you. And He's like, I'm here to remind you who I've called you to be without me asking for it. So God put me in this environment I didn't ask for, and I was running away from, actually. But this is what prayer life is. It is just abiding in Him and He in you, and just walking with God. Sorry, one last thing is I told God, like, I want to hang out with God the way I like hanging out with my husband. I really like John. I just like hanging out with him. And then I was like, God, I want to like hanging out with you too. So I would just take a shot of like hazelnut like liqueur and just sit in my backyard and just stare at this guy and be like, God, I just want to hang out with you. And I create the desire, because sometimes we push ourselves to pray and it becomes a burden. But when you desire, you cultivate desire of I just enjoy hanging out with God, you find yourself more drawn to Him. And so this is my process, so I hope you guys are encouraged.